The time is August 2014. News media is all abuzz over the sudden unexpected death of actor-comedian Robin Williams. Overnight, Parkinson's disease has become front and center worldwide. For many, a term unfamiliar as a symptom of Parkinson's disease is sharing headlines: depression. However, there is a group of Minnesotans who, in the face of this devastating illness, make a choice. They prefer to choose optimism.
Golden Valley, Minnesota, is home to the Struthers Parkinson Center, a center of excellence in care and treatment of those with Parkinson's disease. It is here we found members of an early onset support group to talk with. These members choose each day to consciously fight their disease by choosing optimism. Center Director Martha Nance elaborates on the importance of optimism in care and treatment of those with Parkinson's disease. In dealing with Parkinson's, there's depression is associated with, I think, 80% of Parkinson's patients.
Pretty high number, yeah.
How important is it then to try to keep a sense of optimism in treatment?
I think it's critical. I think you can allow the depression to just weight you down when you have a disease that already makes you move slowly and be sluggish and makes it difficult to get started, or you can elect to keep moving, to be optimistic, to be active, to do the things that you can do rather than focusing on all the things that you can't do.
Right.
And then by doing things that you can do, then you're more active, then you're in better shape, then you do more, then you feel better, and you spiral upwards rather than spiraling downwards.
Okay.
Optimism is absolutely important. It's what propels people forward and what excites.
I consider myself an optimistic realist, I think.
Okay.
Not afraid to face reality, but I think I face it with a cup half full, or more than half full, yeah.
I do consider myself an optimist, yeah. I don't think I'm naive, but I really try to look at the positive aspects of any situation that I get into, and I think that helps out trying to deal with adversity. And
most of the time, I don't think anybody's an optimist 100% of the time, but
Okay.
but for the most part, yes.
Okay. Why do you think you're an optimist?
Because I usually try to look at the bright side of things.
I'm absolutely an optimist, and I'm pleased to be asked about that. I think it's easier to be optimistic than pessimistic. We all have our days when we're cranky or things aren't going well, and it takes a lot of energy to have a negative outlook. I think it's so much more fun to be positive as we look at our lives and how we want to live and the influence we want to have on community. So I think it's fun to be an optimist.
But I'm an optimist. I mean, I'm optimistic that I'm fighting Parkinson's by keeping active too and by staying positive, because I think that if you sit around and act negatively, that your brain knows that you're being negative and your body knows that you're being negative, and everything goes south instead of getting...
How do you stay optimistic?
I think I spend a lot of time with positive people. I try to surround myself with positive people, and that always helps.
You have to keep fighting every day. You have to say, I'm not going to let the couch take me over. I'm not going to let bad thoughts.
But it's like, I think you have to be careful not to stay
in that place.
Yeah, or if you're alone, you need to try to find something or someone to help you.
That's where the dog comes in.
Yeah, if you're nearing that, if you feel you're walking into that.
I read a book, and it was about something about taking the high road or something like that. And it said you are most like 5 people that you hang around the most. And that really hit home to me.
That's interesting.
And, and I love going to, like you said, our support group. I think it's full of a lot of optimistic people.
Right.
What do you hope to accomplish?
The more challenging thing is taking somebody who's not inherently quite as optimistic and getting them over that hump. To say, despite having this disease, I will choose to be optimistic. I will choose, in fact.
But I think I'd rather try to find ways to help a group of people or a couple people or even just one person.
So smaller scale.
Yeah.
More individuals, more personal.
Right.
I want to find living well.
Yeah.
I want people to see that you can live with this disease and that you can still continue to have a fulfilling life and still belong and contribute to the society that you live in. And
I mean, the clips I've seen with you working with people, it's amazing. You know, they can hardly walk, and you put them on this bike.
It's amazing.
And you make them pedal their feet, and before you know, they're woo, they're you know,
they're happy.
It kind of like you talk about the spiraling up and feeding on itself. For me, you know, my big thing is my light show, and you've talked about how I just start talking about it, and you can see my posture change and my whole mannerism change.
Before I quit work, the one thing he told me that I will never forget, he said, Mike, he says, it doesn't really matter what you do in life, but whatever you do, just be significant. Do something with your life. Make something of yourself, and it really doesn't matter what it is, as long as you feel it's significant. I think that's important. So
Great.
Now I feel bad. I want to be an optimist. So I fake it until I make it.
Okay.
You know, I smile, I put a smile on my face.
Okay.
And, you know, I know it feels fake, and it probably looks fake right now, and it is fake right now because I'm really not feeling it.
Yeah.
But eventually I'm going to feel it, and if I add those physical cues to it.
So a smile.
Yeah.
It's something simple as a smile.
That's right.
I have a dad who was always an optimist. We lost him this year.
Right.
And that, but he always, every morning, woke up with a smile on our face. Always said to look for the good in people.
Yeah.
You know, he was just such a great role model that way. It was
Sure
really
about that.
awesome.
I thought a lot about that question, and I try to smile and greet people. And I think sometimes doing that makes you feel more optimistic if you're having a down day. I think
you pick up a piece of optimism. I don't know if you. I think you do pick it up from other people by not letting somebody who's negative or crabby get the best of you.
Yeah.
And so, I would say that the person who smiles back, or the person who smiles first, because I'm often the person that I walk around and I look for somebody to smile at because I think it's entertaining, and if I'm deep in thought and I'm walking and I'm not smiling and I look up and somebody smiles at me, I go, oh, they smiled. And maybe that's who the optimist is the first person who smiles first at a situation, or the person who laughs first at something that's really devastating, but can say, you know, this is devastating, but isn't this ridiculous timing at what happened, or isn't this ridiculous how it happened? And you can find some humor in almost anything.
Well, that's a good question. I would think so. I think you would tend to see somebody who's an optimist that they tend to have a smile on their face. They tend to, their eyes just seem to glow a little bit. They tend to look up rather than look down.
Yeah.
I think you can tell by the way someone the mannerisms or the posture.
Which is cool. And it's so cool that there's so many different ways that people can do it. Lights, which are very simple.
I sure better be. Yeah, I think personally I am an optimist.
How do you keep